Hello everyone and welcome to the HCBS Community Practice. My name is Jamie Markey and I just want to sincerely welcome you. If this is your first video that you are watching with us, welcome. These are self-paced videos for you or your team to watch to really gain some insight on the HCBS final rule and different practical tools and resources that you can use to not only be in compliance on paper, but in practice. If you have not already, there is an activity packet that we will be using for this video. I strongly encourage you to either download it right now or to print it out, so that way you can follow along, have the information, and participate fully in the exercise. If you are watching this with a team, hello everyone. We're very excited that teams are watching this together. If someone is going to facilitate the conversations to dive deeper into what does this look like for your organization, please know that there is a do-it-yourself facilitator guide. So please make sure that one of you has the facilitator guide, and this will lead you into more action steps and what does this mean for your team kind of conversations while playing this video. Today we're going to be introducing what we call community mapping. And community mapping is one of our favorite skills. We are able to do this with a template, but also utilizing innovation and technology and exploring what more is possible with our phones. So today we will be using a paper template, but we'll also introduce you to a new way of community mapping. And the reason we're introducing community mapping is because of HCBS Requirement number 1. And Requirement number 1 really speaks to people being active and included members within their neighborhoods and community. And the rule emphasizes that people with disabilities have the same opportunity to be, as I said, active and included members of their neighborhood and community, just as people without disabilities would. And within this requirement, it also speaks to that people with disabilities are able to have competitive employment, working alongside people without disabilities, just as you and I would each day. People are able to actively participate in local activities, and that services are provided in the community just like people without disability. And again, it's really about what community is to that person. There are a few questions that we have in the workbook that you can explore, and the questions really look at how are you doing within this requirement. I also encourage you, there is a HCBS Requirement number 1 video that will go into those questions and a little bit more information. So if you'd like, please know that that video is also accessible and ready to go. And it's really important as we look to connect people to community that we stop and ask ourselves, well, what is community? What does this actually mean? And I do believe that community is a word that is being broadly spoken about right now. And we can't authentically connect people to their community unless we fully grasp what community is. So I want you to pause for a minute, and I want you to think about, what does community mean to you? What does being a part of your community mean to you? And how does that make you feel? And then last, what value have you received from being a part of your community? And you can find these questions in your activity packet. The page looks like this. Once again, we'd like you to pause the video and just reflect on these 3 questions. If you are doing this with a group, I encourage you to pause, give time for each of you to fill this out, and then before starting the video back, I'd like you to share what you came up with your team members. So please pause the video now. All right, I hope that was enough time for all of you to reflect on what community means to you. And hopefully if you are doing this with a team, you are able to share with one another. And what we're finding in conversations with others around community is not some big destination. I'm not going to find community in the greater Los Angeles area. Community is about feelings. It's about being in a place where you feel a sense of belonging. It's being in a place where you feel seen and accepted for who you are, where you feel safe, where you have relationships. It's in those ordinary places and those day-to-day interactions that you feel a sense of belonging. And as we're looking to support people in connecting to community, it's important to note the feelings that are associated with community and what is important to that person. Where do they have passion? Where are the places that they would find people with common interests or common values? And knowing that it looks differently for each and every person. One of the skills that we wanted to introduce is called community mapping. And the community map gives us a graphic representation of what is happening within a person's community, the places, and the people in it. Because as we know, community is not just a physical location. It is the relationships of the people around us. And the community map gives us a way to discover different associations, organizations that may be within our community that we weren't privy to beforehand. It also gives us an opportunity to look at where does the person want to go to have fun? Where are the places that are important to the person? And the lovely thing about doing this with a group or a collective is you may start to discover things that are within your neighborhood that you had no idea prior to. And again, it gives us a way to graphically show what's available within a person's neighborhood, which is represented within the inner box, and it'll say places that the person can walk or stroll to. And then in the outer box, you'll see this is the place or places that the person may need a ride, or they may need to use public transportation. So it really helps us to identify who are the people, the places within a person's community and neighborhood. And in the upper left-hand column, or box, I should say, you'll see that says family or friends. These are the people that are close to the person that they have easy access to. So we're identifying the people, the relationships that are important to the person. We're also identifying the groups and associations. So is there church? Is it a nail salon? Is it a gaming network? So where does the person want to meet up with others within their community? And lastly, I just want to highlight in the 5 valued experiences, we spoke to third places, but that really is where are those ordinary places where people come together and organically connect with each other. They have authentic conversations, they have shared interests. This might be the park, at the movies, at a coffee shop. So where are those third places? And as we're filling out the community map, there's some questions that we may ask ourselves, we may ask the person or the people in their circle of support to really start discovering what is possible and what can go into that community map. And first we want to look at where does the person enjoy spending time? Where does the person ask to go frequently? Where are the places outside of the service system that they enjoy going to? And this is critically important because HCBS requirement number 1 really speaks to being an active participant within the community to the same extent as people without disabilities. So we really want to look beyond what services are offered and look at what does the community offer, whether it's rec centers, churches, what is within the community that is not disability related. Where does the person enjoy? What is happening in that environment? So really looking at if the person loves going to the music store, well, what's happening within the music store? Is it the music? Is it the people? So really evaluating the environment in the places that we know the person is already going. And also, as we are engaging in these conversations or discovery, it's also really important that, again, we document everything that we have discovered, whether it's in the community map or in the person's one-page profile or the places and possibilities. We just want to make sure that we are documenting what we discover. So let me go ahead and show you an example of Jessica. This is her community map. And within Jessica's community map, you'll see that her friend Lucia actually lives right down the street. Her mom and dad are in town, but she does need to drive there. In community life, she has It's Phone Time Orange County, the Phillip Park Ranch. She goes shopping at Winco because, again, that is a necessity. We need to go shopping. So what's in her community? Jessica also loves going to Starbucks every Saturday with her friends, the Golden Corral Buffet, and the park. In her community groups, you'll see Planet Fitness. She does love going swimming, so she does that at Planet Fitness. You'll see her church, baseball games, and then work and living. This is where she banks at Wells Fargo, and then she also has a volunteer opportunity at the elementary school within her neighborhood. So this gives you an overview, at a glance look at what is available within Jessica's neighborhood and within her community where she enjoys going. If you were to go work with Jessica tomorrow and this is all that you saw, then you might have some questions of, well, when do you like to go here? How often? How can I support you? It's really a way to get to know Jessica and what's important to her in her life outside of the service system. So we are going to practice, and you are going to create a community map for a lovely woman named Christy. And before you start this community map, it's really important to know things that are important to Christy, because you are going to want to create her community map based off of things that she's interested in, passionate about, and what's important to her, just as you would with the people that you support. So Christy has just moved into the area and she's looking to get to know her community. She really enjoys working with children and would love to find a job or a volunteer opportunity where she gets to do that. She really enjoys being outside and going for walks with her dog Bella. She also enjoys working out at least 2 times a week, so she will need to find a gym. She loves to learn and is interested in taking a few classes, maybe at the local community college, if that's available. And then Christy and her sister enjoy going to the movies together. Her sister does live in the neighborhood, and so they do see each other frequently. So they love going and seeing the most recent movies together. So that is something that you will want to look for as you're mapping out Christy's community. And remember, when you're doing this, we want to ask ourselves, what are the places that don't require transportation? So those are going to be the places that go in that inner box. Where are the places that do require transportation? Those are going to be the ones that go in the outer box, as you saw in Jessica's community map. What are the major streets for shopping, for entertainment? Where can she go grocery shopping? What's unique within the community? Where are those informal places that people hang out? So maybe a nail salon, maybe a local park, a barber shop. And then who are helpful people and where can they be found? So those are all things that you can put within Christy's community map just to expand her network expand the possibilities of what's available to her. And you can find these questions in your activity packet as well. I know you're probably thinking, well, Jamie, how are we going to map Christy's community if we don't know where she lives? But fear not. In your activity packet, you also have a physical map. For this activity, we are going to pretend that this is where Christy lives. So you can use the physical map to explore what is within Christy's community that she may be interested in based off of what's important to her. Don't forget the things to consider questions. If you would like, you can also use the QR code in the upper left-hand corner. This will take you to Christy's Google My Map, where you can actually pinch in and pinch out so you can explore more of what is within her community. The circles are just to give reference to how far things are. You are not limited to only finding things within the circles. Please know that you can absolutely use this entire map. So you will use the map, you will use what's important to Christy, the questions to consider to create Christy's community map. And you do have a blank template in your activity packet. I would like you to pause the video. If you are doing this with teams, please separate into groups and then share after. If you are doing this by yourself, just go ahead and press play when you are done with this exercise. Okay. I am always curious. I wish I was in person with all of you right now to see what people come up with. We have found some community members are really just going into full detail and having a lot of fun with exploring their communities. And again, this is just one way. We wanted to give you one way that you can participate in community mapping. But know that you are not limited to using this template because it's all about what's going to work for the person, what's going to work for your organization, and the people supporting that person. And there's many different ways that you can map out your community. I was listening to a podcast or a video that Beth Mount was doing, and she was speaking to the importance of community, and she had a wonderful, lovely idea. And she suggested that going out into your neighborhood and having the people that you support actually take a camera and take pictures. Take pictures of the landmarks, take pictures of the people, of the scenery, and then create a community map based off of their pictures. Because then the community map is through their lens. Other people are actually going walking or strolling through their neighborhood and they're cutting out pictures from magazines or they're printing out pictures. You could also get on a computer and explore with Google. So there's many ways that you can go about mapping your community. One of the ways that we have found or discovered is through an app called Google My Maps. It's not Google Maps, it's Google My Maps. And this is a great way to do community mapping because you can go online, you could actually make notations of places and then put descriptions into the map. And I want to show you a few examples of this. So on the screen, you're going to see Jessica's Google My Map. On the left hand, you're going to see family and friends, community life, work and learning, community groups. These are the same categories that we have in the template that I was able to put into Google My Maps. Then we were able to, and again, Jessica is not a real person, but if she was, the idea would be that we get onto Google My Map and we explore what is available within her community, and we can actually start tagging the locations that are important to her. So the first one, as we learned through Jessica's community map, is that she really likes to go to the Martin Luther King Memorial Park. So if I were to scroll over and click on the park, it would actually pop up that she likes to go there. We need to remind her to wear her comfy shoes and to bring a water bottle because it can be a long walk. So the great thing about this is not only are we able to map out the person's community, we're able to put in their preferences and how staff can support them. So once again, if I were to look at her map and I said, you know what is phone time Orange County? I can click on it and then it would tell us how Jessica likes to participate at Orange County, and we see that she wants to do it more often, and there is an adult night on Wednesday night. So that cues us as a provider that this could be a possibility for Jessica to engage more in places that she is interested in. And for the fun of it, let's go ahead and click on one more. Maybe we click on Planet Fitness, which is the gym that we can see that she goes to twice a week. And as a staff, you'll see the note to staff, Jessica would like support while in the pool. Please bring a swimsuit and go in with her when she is ready. After 30 minutes, just ask her how she's feeling and see if she'd like to take a break. The great thing about this is it's able to utilize what most of us have, which is a phone. If we go onto the computer, we work with Jessica or the people that we support to create their community map. They can then share it with whomever they want via email. Or Jessica herself can hold up her phone and pull up her community map and share it with those in her life. I do want to say that Google My Map, we do not know if it is HIPAA compliant. And I want to stress that we do not know if it is HIPAA compliant. So please do not put any personal information. Do not put the person's full name, where they live, or any important information about that person that can be exposed. Please do not put that into this. However, this is a great resource for mapping out a person's community. So you have this view within Google My Map, but another view that we really like is the street view, where you can actually see the proximity of the locations compared to her house or the other activities or centers that she has noted within her community map. And I love this view because it actually makes it look more realistic. You're able to gauge the proximity. You can also click on different items within this view and get the same information. It just populates on the left-hand screen and gives you more detail about going to coffee with her friends, when she likes to go, what drinks she gets, and the supports that she needs. So again, you're able to click on different aspects. It will populate to the left, but this gives us a street view image more so than what you would see on other mapping places. If you'd like to explore Jessica's community map a little further, please go ahead and scan the QR code. It is in your workbook, but again, we just want to give more opportunities for community mapping and really utilizing technology, especially in this day and age. We are constantly on our phones, and what a better way to share with other people in the person's life rather than having a piece of paper. Both or all options work exceptionally well as we are trying to meet HCBS requirement number 1, which again is access to community. And before we end today, I just want to spend a few moments really going back to the alignment, why we chose to introduce community mapping in relation to HCBS requirement number 1. And remember, HCBS requirement number 1 speaks to people with disabilities having the same opportunities to be active and included members in their neighborhood and communities as someone without a disability. The community map is a way to explore and capture those possibilities within a person's neighborhood that is not restricted by transportation and their community. When you look into requirement 1, there are certain questions that I spoke of earlier that gives us a way for providers to assess how we're doing. And I just want to go over them quickly and show how closely the community map really does meet this requirement. And the first question is, does the provider support the person to spend time where other people living in the community go? Does the community map capture those places? Absolutely. The second question, does the provider support the person to do what they want in community? Does the community map give us an opportunity to capture those places where supports can be offered that are important to the person? Absolutely. Question 3, does the person receive services in the same place as people without disabilities? Does the community map capture community places, community groups where the person can receive those services? Yes. And last, does the provider support the person to do as much as they want in community? The community map is the first step in getting there. It's the first thing that we can do to capture where are those places where the provider can support the person to do what they want. So yes, the community map absolutely does support providers in identifying those places. But again, that's just the first step. We actually need to follow through with our actions and make it possible for staff, for the person to go out and start exploring those places that they've identified. Before we end today, I would encourage you to go to the self-reflection in your workbook and you will see some questions. The questions are really just going to ask, what did you like about community mapping? Is there someone that you have in mind that you can do a community map with? What type of community map would you do? And how will you move this into action? I'd like you to pause this video and do some self-reflection and then press play when you are ready to close out. Okay. I hope that you are able to identify some next steps. Again, I strongly encourage you to act sooner rather than later. I know that all of you are incredibly busy in the work that you do, and I applaud you for all that you do, and thank you for being here. I hope that you are able to gain some insight and some new ideas for yourself or with your team. Once again, thank you so much for being here. Please be sure to continue to look at this website. We will continue to update as the community of practice continues. Have a great day, everyone.